This list is in no particular order, but I guess it makes sense to start with Apple's launch dramas. The morning show started off shaky in season 1, but it ended strong. Season 2, unfortunately, is a return to the shaky beginnings. C is a little shallow on story depth, but it is worth watching and has some fantastic action fight sequences. For All Mankind is sublime, and it gets better every episode. Dickinson just wrapped up its 3-season story arc, and I like it a lot. It's a non-serious examination of Emily Dickinson's life, but it is grounded in truth. Amazing Stories was actually the first show Apple teased back at the March 2019 event, led by Steven Spielberg. Unfortunately, it might just be Apple's worst show ever. It's 5 episodes of boring. Truth Be Told got completely panned, and I think it is the worst rated TV Plus show on Rotten Tomatoes, but I don't think it's terrible. It's just average, true, crimey fare. Defending Jacob is a much better crime thriller, and it's a limited series, so you get a nice, finite conclusion. Mosquito Coast could be great, but season 1 ending leaves a lot of storylines hanging in the air. I need some resolution before I can wholeheartedly recommend it. The same goes for Servant. It's a crazy premise and a good starting episode, but each season keeps piling on questions, and at some point, you just want answers. Calls is a wild audio-only experience. Not sure if it really classifies as a TV show, though. It's more like a podcast. Central Park is Apple's first stab at adult animation. It's probably good if you like animated shows and you like musicals. Unfortunately, I don't really fall into either of those camps. Smigadoon is very theatre musically oriented too, but I enjoyed it even in spite of my own aforementioned taste. Greatness Code is stupid. Each episode is literally 5 minutes long. You see more of the TV Plus introductory jingle and end credits than the show itself. Both Lacey's Story and Invasion suffer from the flaw of not enough happening. They look stunning thanks to Apple's big budgets, but the story isn't quite there to back it up. Foundation is gorgeous to look at and it has a much better story, even if it's not faithful to Asimov's original books. The show does take like 3 episodes or so for you to get what the heck is going on. It's a complex narrative. To date, Apple has only formally cancelled 2 shows, that's Mr. Corman and Little Voice, leaving them with 1-season runs and unresolved plotlines. I can see why they cancelled them though, but the latter is way better than the former. Apple is still ramping up its international content lineup and so far airs a smattering of non-English language shows. That's Losing Alice, Tehran, Dr. Brain, and Acapulco. I don't have too much to say about this because I personally am not cultured enough to enjoy subtitled or dubbed content. That's just on me. However, Acapulco is mostly English dialogue and genuinely good, uplifting comedy. Little America is an anthology of immigrant experiences. I like most of the episodes, worth watching. Long Way Up is a travel show and a nice escape from the ongoing pandemic. Mythic Quest is funny, Physical is not. Home Before Dark is a mystery drama set around a precocious 10-year-old girl and actually based on a real young reporter who helped solve a real crime. The show is surprisingly compelling. Trying is truly fantastic and I wish more people would watch it. A British comedy about a couple going through the adoption process. Swagger only wrapped up its first season last week, but I also really enjoyed that. These shows here are grouped together because they are aimed at preschoolers. I'm obviously not the target market, but I can appreciate they are high quality productions. Apple didn't cheap out on the CGI budgets, even on the kids shows. Ghostwriter in particular has some crazy full CGI characters and animals, and frankly it also has the most deep story that would possibly keep an adult's attention. Wolf Boy is a pretty good cartoon for I'd say ages 10 years and younger. Harriet the Spy targets that bracket too. Snoopy in Space and The Snoopy Show can target kids and adults alike. The Snoopy Show is really good. It's modernised animation but respectful and true to the original franchise. Both Tiny World and Earth at Night are absolutely stunning. Crazy imagery of nature and Apple's high bitrate streaming makes them really shine on a 4K TV. The Tarsier episode in Earth at Night in colour is amazing. Becoming You is similar in style, but it's not about animals, it's about the early life development of humans, and it's really helped by the sonorous narration of Olivia Colman. Visible is a decent docuseries about the changing portrayal of gay relationships on television, perhaps a little too long at 5 episodes in length. I'd say the same about Watch the Sound. I've selectively chosen episodes to watch from this series and I found them interesting, but I haven't quite felt compelled enough to watch all of them. Dear is like that, but even more selective. You'll like an episode if you like the featured celebrity, otherwise you'll hate it with a passion. The Line is a 4-part docuseries, but in contrast to the last few, I was captivated the entire way through. Absolutely wild revelations, including some incredible on-the-ground footage of soldiers at war. Just be aware it is very graphic at times. If you're into music culture, I think you'll find 1971 similarly engaging. Home is fun, even if it has overly long exposition. To live vicariously in expensive houses for a few hours. The Shrink Next Door got panned by critics, but I think it's decent. I guess if you're expecting comedy based on the top-line cast list, you will be disappointed. Similarly, problem with Jon Stewart is also lacking on laughs. It's way more serious than I think anyone expected, but if you take it for what it is fine. Then you have the Oprah shows. These are all right, but of course you have to like Oprah to actually like these. And finally, barbecue sauce.